pretty so excited to meet you in person. Well, it's through virtual conferencing, but you actually look so cute than you are in the picture.
Thank you very much.
So thank you for accepting this invitation. I'm really honored.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, I quite know how busy you are, so I will not like to waste your time. So welcome to the Business of Design. So I'm pretty excited that you are here with me to just converse around the creative industry in Africa. So this has been a lot of burden on me that, okay, why is no one talking about the creative industry in Africa? Why is it so static? Why is no one just trying to explore the market? And why is no one talking about the implication to the economy? What the creative industry can bring to the economy. So currently, according to statistics, I think it contributes less than 1% to the economy of Africa at large, so which is quite low. And you could agree with me that no product or services can go out there to the market without the influence of design. Am I right?
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah. So the conversation will just be around why the creative industry in Africa is not quite recognized, or what we can do to improve that, and how we can place it on the map of the world. So I know you are a very talented, skilled UX UI designer, working for one of the top banks in Nigeria, Sterling Bank, right?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's quite interesting. So without wasting your time, so I would like you to just introduce yourself. Let's know who you are.
Okay, so my name is Abayomi Ahmed-Tosin. As you said, I'm a UI UX designer and UX writer. Anything UI UX, actually. Anything UI UX, design, writing, research. So I used to be in digital marketing before switching into design. Yeah. So, well, I don't know if that's all you want to hear. Maybe as we go on and I start speaking.
We'll get to experience you more. I would like to assume that your primary field is not design. Am I right? As an undergraduate, then?
Well, my primary was law.
Whoa, wow, this makes it interesting. Wow, that's quite interesting. So from law to design, wow, that's a pretty big thing. So I think this brings us to the first question. So why do you decide to build a career in the creative industry?
Okay, so it's very tricky to trace, because my switch was not directly from law to design exactly, though growing up there has always been an element of design and tech in what I'm excited about. So after studying law, I actually moved into writing first. Okay, so let me tell you a very little story. When I was in school, I once wrote an article on Facebook, which went a bit viral, as viral could be then. So some guy saw it and invited me over to come and write for his company in Lagos. So that was my first time of moving to Lagos to come and work as a writer. So I started writing. But why? So if I'm to answer the question, why do I switch to creativity instead of the professional law and being a lawyer? I've always had a passion for impact, as in trying to create an impact, having a voice in the society, because I am actually highly opinionated. And I saw writing as a way of passing my messages across, because I started writing articles in school, guest writing for the press and things like that. So I started writing, but from writing, I noticed that the way the digital world is evolving now if you want to pass your message across in a very beautiful way and in an acceptable way, maybe you need to do a bit of design and graphics. You get? So now, instead of like, okay, I just keep writing, why can't I pass my message in like with quotes, with beautiful designs and colors? So it makes it more attractive and easy to digest. So that's how, so that's how design came into the purview. And like, okay, then from doing normal graphics design, creating banners and social media, I started getting clients like, okay, let me do this logo and stuff like that. Then later, around 2 years ago, I moved into UI UX design because it fascinated me. So I could actually create these apps and these websites. Because before, I just thought creating a website just involved coding. So I could actually design the website and be the controller of how the thing will be built. So it fascinated me, the fact that I could actually make an impact in how technology is being built, because impact in society, then impact in technology, meaning I could actually affect the lives of other people. So that's what drove my design journey: impact and having a voice.
Whoa, that's pretty interesting. You know, when I check through the way the world is moving, I think if your business is or the service you're offering is not technologically inclined, I think you'll be missing in the world we are going nowadays, especially in this digital era. 90% of the product or services out there require a designer. Because, you know, when you want to push a product out or a service out, the first thing you need to do is attract people. Even if your quality of your product or your services is 100%, but your presentation or your outlook is quite different, then I think you will not be able to push across that product or services. So design to me is like a window to opportunities, a window to sales, a window to advancement. Because as the world is going now, I think everything is becoming smaller, and what they require is a designer to kind of infuse those smaller technology into smaller design that will be attractive. So I looked through the airport, the Apple airport, how simplified it is, and I'm amazed at how the design is being cultivated and being cultured. It's so simple and so elegant, so attractive. So they infuse nanotechnology into design. So that is why design is almost so amazing. So I think everyone is so intrigued by design. So what makes you exceptional? What drives you? What's your vision in this industry that the path you are going through?
Okay, well, as much as I don't want to sound like self-praising myself, okay, I would like to point out, let's say, a few things. So one thing which I started realizing when I started working with Sterling Bank is that, so I would say this doesn't just make me exceptional, but can make anybody exceptional as a designer.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So if you are a designer that understands technology, I think you'll be a better designer. It will make you exceptional. Because most times when we talk about how design is in the 21st century, design right now is not just about colors and how beautiful things look, but how they work. As Steve Jobs said, design really is how things work. So if you could be able to understand the machine behind those technology, then you can start to make more informed decisions when you're making design decisions. If I know how development is being done, as a designer, if I'm working with developers, I've already bridged the gap myself in terms of communication, in terms of understanding the lingo, and also in terms of creating things that are feasible, and also understanding timelines and many other things. So when you understand technology, for me, I understand tech. I won't say so much, but I'll say fairly or a bit above average. Because at a point in my life, I was learning HTML, CSS, and a bit of JavaScript just because I wanted to. I'm very curious. I wanted to understand what coding is. So now going into that area of learning the basics of coding actually spread my imagination and curiosity into more things in that area. So I understand. So when developers are speaking, I can understand. When technologists are speaking, I'm talking about core technologies now, people that do the architecture of the technology, I can understand what they are saying and it's not alien to me. So it makes my work easier and it makes me easy to work with. And also, sometimes it doesn't make me easy to work with because as someone that understands technology, you can't really bamboozle me much. So when you tell me this, I can tell you, no, this is not correct. I know where you get your resources from. I can also go to Stack Overflow to get information myself. I can go to W3 schools to get code myself. I can even work with some code snippets in JavaScript. So really, I can be able to solve some little problems with code. So for me, I'm an asset because it's actually sometimes hard to find designers who really are interested in the old gibberish and the old technical stuff. So I would say that makes me
exceptional. I think that is one of the problems most of Nigerian designers are having. Yeah, they understand the colors, they understand alignments, they understand a lot of design elements, but they don't understand what the users really need. You know, some of these designers, while they are crawling or having a lot of problem working with multinationals or working with, let me say, a very promising project, is because they lack the all-around development. I think that is one of the issues that we need to address in the creative space in Africa. That how can we develop ourselves all around to understand what the users really need? Because yes, you understand how to use all these design tools, you can combine colors and it will be amazing, but do you step away from your system and really understand what the customers need or what the users need? I think that is a bridging point that every designers need to go all around development. Wow, that's a very pretty one that we need to explore further, but that's not the business for today. So what is your vision as a creative person? Do you think in Nigeria and Africa, we can have this kind of, let's say, Silicon Valley for designers? Or we can have like a dedicated institution just for creative designers, such as we have in New York, we have in London that are dedicated for designers?
Okay, well, I would, so the network broke at some point, but let me try to repeat your question. Okay. Can we have a kind of technology design hub in Africa the way we have it? I don't think this was in the points, right? But let me answer that quickly.
Okay, all
right. So I think so. In as much as I am very optimistic that is possible in Africa, there's still a bit of doubt. And why is this? Because the government as a I'm talking about the government as a body now, as a structure. I don't think from the posture, I don't think they really understand the economic effect or the economic importance of design. Looking at the government posture, how does the government perceive designers? For example, in Nigeria, do the government even understand that there's an industry called design industry? From their posture, have they even recognized it? Not to talk of now trying to create infrastructures and opportunities that will help that industry. So I don't even think they actually recognize. Maybe a few countries have done that, but coming back home here, I don't think the government has really recognized. Though I can see some empowerment schemes that will say they want to teach you how to code and maybe not how to design, because I've seen coding classes that government organized, maybe Lagos State, Code for Lagos and stuff like that. But I've not really seen the government doing anything that is impactful when it comes to design. Now, so for the government to be able to, because really for us to have that kind of hub, you are talking about those kind of institutions, the government has to be heavily involved for it to really work.
Yeah,
because we know how things are. If the government is not really putting structures together. Now, the first step in doing that is even recognition. Maybe it is a fault of the design industry, or it is just irresponsibility of the government in some way. But I know the government has not recognized the industry of design as something that can drive the economy. So, but now let's now be more optimistic.
Okay.
We can be more optimistic in the sense that we can say, okay, design in Nigeria is still young. When it comes to design now, I'm talking about the area of design thinking, not just the colors and stuff like art and graphics. I mean, design, as in product design, when it comes to manufacturing, when it comes to technology and stuff. I think it is quite young in Nigeria. Some people will be like, oh, maybe we should not rush the government. Maybe it's still trying to evolve. So we can give them that excuse that the industry is still trying to evolve. Maybe at some point, the way they are already recognizing technology like coding now, maybe at some point they will recognize design as a tool for economic advancement. But I still, if they can recognize technology like coding, maybe at some point, I think I'm optimistic a bit that the time for design would come in Africa. But for now, really, I'm not saying it's happening.
It's happening. So what could you say is what is affecting why the recognition is so low, or why the industry is kind of crawling in Africa? Do you get me?
Yeah, I understand you. So I would say one part is the way the society is structured. That's one. So let's dimension it this way. Now, for this thing to happen, we need two parties, which is the design community and the government. Now, in Africa, which all of us in the design community are to blame for it. Now, how many people are doing this kind of thing you're doing? That's the question. Now, we that are engaged in this kind of activities, like giving talks and trying to create resources that upcoming designers and even fellow designers can tap from. Yes. We can look at ourselves and be quick to conclude that, oh, this is actually happening. Design in Africa is moving. But no. How do we measure? We can start measuring by looking at holistically at the society or the community of designers. How many young designers are even aware of these communities, of these activities? So because, for example, on LinkedIn and on Instagram, I get a lot of questions in my inbox. People asking very, very basic questions. And from those questions people ask, these young designers ask, you start to understand that we still have a long way to go. In the sense that, number one, I tell everybody this, even when you're not a designer. Number one, the first thing in your quest for knowledge in 21st century, you must know how to ask Google. You must know knowing how to use Google makes you 10 times smarter than an average person. Because now I have 10 questions in my head. Before I would ask Mr. Samson, I'll go to Google first. Now, if Google can answer my question, then I know I need human interaction. But first, do I go to Google? So now I see people asking me basic questions like, how can I learn UX? You could go online and ask this question. You get thousands of answers. You'll be exhausted. You get countless resources. What are the YouTube channels I can watch? Just go to Google and ask that same question. I can give you more information than Google in all these basics. You get now. So I've seen that even the background idea of learning design is not even there, just because we are in Africa and people are not really used to these information resources yet. So now you see we have a background problem. Now it's like people in slavery and they want to bring themselves out of slavery, fighting the oppressor. You need to first harm yourself. Even the design community is not harmed enough. We've not even helped ourselves. Now, when we become within ourselves, when we become a force to reckon with, two things can happen. Is either the government recognizes us or we take the fight to them. Now, let's imagine we take the fight to them. They start to ask us questions. What have you guys done on your own? Have you created a community? Have you created a community where you've brought up to 10,000 designers and this is what they've done? Have you guys worked on a design project that can affect the nation? For example, on Independence Day, what's the design community in Nigeria doing on Independence Day? What project can we work on?
That, I saw the recent Independence Day design that is causing fuse online. A lot of designers are saying, what the heck? Who designed this 60th anniversary logo? And I'm sure someone say maybe someone just used Microsoft Word to put things together, you know. But you know, someone was so agitated.
It can be ruled out.
Okay, out of the tons of designers we have in Nigeria, even you could see someone that will even design for free, and it will be amazing. So I think I saw a very valid point in what you say, that okay, I think we need to take the fight to them, but to take the fight to them, I think we need to check our background and make sure that okay, we have enough stuff to be able to convince them that okay, this industry could actually work in Africa. Well, that's a very, very pretty valid point.
Yeah.
Okay, on the issue of the economy, so what are you seeing, or what can you say that the design industry can contribute to the economy? How can the design industry contribute to the economy?
Okay, so as I see design, as it is, design is actually a problem-solving industry, really. Either you're talking about branding. Branding is trying to solve a business problem. How do the business look to the customers? How do I portray my business? It's still a problem-solving thing. UI UX is about user experience. How does the user experience this technology platform, these interfaces? It's still problem-solving. Now, if we look at it from that, how we can really make an impact is when the design community itself sees design from the problem-solving perspective. And we have to understand that it's not just about logos, about banners, and all those kind of basic things. It's actually, let's look at it from a design thinking perspective, like something that can be used to create solutions. Now, let's give an example. In Nigeria, for example, if you do something like, let me give you, I want to test it out before I tell you. So if you do www.nigeria.com, www.nigeria.com. Now, let me try and share my.
All right, www.nigeria.com. Okay, this site is under construction and coming soon.
Okay, now let's do, now for you to start to see the problem, let's do I'm coming. You can just pick any website. You can do www.ghana.com. Do www.ghana.com, and you can also try opportunity for you to take your business online.
Products.
Now, let me point out something. Now, I saw some countries, which I can't remember exactly now. We were checking in the office as a joke. So someone was like trying to criticize Nigerian developers and technologies that we don't do anything. Like, we are not really hungry as the technologies in other parts of the world. He said, so he mocked us. He gave us 3 countries or 4 countries to check thatcountry.com. And we saw something on that website. Like, something was just happening on the website. But Nigeria.com, we saw that the site is under construction. And it was like, you see what I'm talking about? Now, what I'm trying to say is that even as a country, as technologies, one of the, for example, first things we can do is that Nigeria.com, Nigeria.com, do you know it can be a revenue source for the government?
Yes.
Because when I search for Nigeria online, as a foreigner, I'm thinking of going to Nigeria, just search for Nigeria. After seeing Wikipedia, that's if we can beat Wikipedia on the search engine, which I think if we work on our SEO very well, we should be able to beat.
It will.
Yeah, now design, now SEO, I'm beating Google on Wikipedia, I would tell you that it's something, it's in a creative domain.
Space.
Our writers, our SEO specialists, our designers, our web developers that will do the name tags and all the on the web, fourth result on Google. Then we can use that place as a tourist attraction. Like using it to advertise what Nigeria is about in terms of tourism, in terms of culture, in terms of governance, in terms of our
Dubai?
national.
I think Dubai has something like that, Dubai.com.
Like .com, you get. So I think we checked. So we checked many countries and we saw nice stuff about that country that even before the foreign media would tell you about our country, we have already set the narrative straight. Either we are lying about it or we are cooking it up. We have already put in our own narrative into the system. So you can actually, so now you can see how our community has not even, nobody is even noticing this thing as basic as that.
As it is.
For you to know how deep the problem is. We don't, as a design community, do we even care about the country? Do we truly care? Now, a logo was designed. Before that logo was designed, we are crying foul. Before that logo was designed, maybe as a design community, have we even written to the government? Now, if you write to the government, even if your letter is bounced and you keep writing, what does it take us to be sending a letter every week or every month? Now, even if our stuff is being bounced, maybe one day, one guy in the presidency or in the ministry,
we'll take note of it one day.
Let's give these guys a chance. Now, when they give us a chance, are we even ready to wow them with solutions that, okay, as a community, this is what we have for the country. We want to design www.nigeria.com, and these are the contents we want to put there. These are the kind of images. We create the mood board. We create the content templates. And we say this is a content strategy for Nigeria. And guess what? We start getting noticed. So these are the things we need to start thinking about. We have to be patriotic in our approach. I have to know that it's not about money. And it's not that when we get there and they will give us money and some guys will just do something. You get all those kind of things. You get that kind of thing. So we need to, even in the era of our national consciousness, designers can be the one that will front a new national consciousness. Like, oh, Nigeria is not corrupt. And this is how we are running our own design community. And this is what we can do. And we are transparent. And this, because we are really the will not be able to set it straight as we can, because we have the technology power, we have the design power, and design is king, man. Creativity is king.
Definitely.
So I think we need to have that consciousness within us and try to create something we can take to them. Let's look at Nigeria. What are the solutions we can? Okay, when it comes to election time, what's the design community doing? Do we see fake news? We create a banner to say this is fake news. As simple as that. Do we create a vote just site where the banners will be, and people will just upload their picture and it will run their picture on that banner, and they can be able to share it that, oh, I will go and vote. I support fair and fair election, and those kind of things. Now, by the time we start to do that, when the government presents this is what we've done. This was our impact during election. This was our impact during Borno violence. This was what the design community did. This was what we did. This was what this design organization did in Lagos State. We can start to point out. They will see that, okay, these guys are serious. Because the government is not even serious itself.
Serious about it.
So when you are serious, they start to see that, okay, I think these guys are doing something.
Serious.
They have to recognize us.
So we should kind of add advocacy to the skills we have, so that everyone can benefit, as a nation can benefit also. Well, I think, as a designers in Africa, I think we have a very rich culture. I think that's what makes us so exceptional, because we can easily kind of bring culture and creativity together, and it will be a very wonderful result. So I think I check at the fashion industry, and I see that the Westerners are appreciating the local fashion materials and the local fashion more than their own also. You know, before we used to export, let me say, fashion from overseas to Nigeria, but now I think it's reverses the case. They appreciate the way we serve our dress, the way we design our dress. They appreciate our materials, our local fabrics. even more than this.
Yes.
And I think it's a kind of aspect we should look at also. How can we kind of capitalize on the rich culture we have and fuse in creativity to kind of distinct ourselves in the market? I think this is quite a very wonderful aspect to look at. So this has been a very wonderful exposure, a wonderful conversation with you. Pray that gradually we'll kind of put the creative industry among one of the priorities of the economy, generating kind of a huge aspect in the economy. So what last word do you have for designers out there? What advice can you give to them?
Okay, so, well, a lot, but let me just pick. So what I would like to say is I would actually appreciate if designers start seeing themselves as inventors and problem solvers. They are not, like, we have to understand that we are not just existing to make things pretty, like branding and stuff. Now, even when you're doing branding, it should be responsible. Okay, so I call it the era of responsible design. So you have to be responsible in your design. And responsibility means you have to understand that as a designer, there is a responsibility on you to actually invent and solve problems. When you look at design from that perspective, it starts to improve your impact. So you won't just be someone that beautifies things, but you also be someone that helps people solve problems. People will come and meet you from different angles, from different industries, and they'll be able to recognize that for me to be able to solve this problem, I need a designer to actually, number one, scope out and understand the problem, be able to understand the problem, one, then scope out the solution, and also in terms of executing that solution. Now, because you are really the one that has the eyes that can even see things before they are created as a designer, because your imagination is actually very strong. So you can be able to actually understand problems more and create solutions. So as a designer, if you see yourself as an inventor and problem solver, I think it would actually increase the impact we have on the society.
All right, thank you very much. I believe this will help a lot of designers a lot, and they'll begin to be intentional about why they are designers. I think it's a pretty valid point for everyone to be intentional concerning their skills. Thank you very much.